Before I start, I just want to acknowledge the loveliness of this evening and acknowledge Ruth and Elise for all the hard work that went into it. It's really been a special occasion. And give it up to the host that is the most, Mr. Multitasker, my son Isaac. I don't know if any of you have seen the 2008 Disney movie College Road Trip. The film, starring Martin Lawrence and Raven-Symoné, depicts the often challenging relationship between a father and daughter on their travels to her post-secondary school of choice. It's not what you call a classic. It scored a 12% approval rating on the Rotten Tomatoes to comedy. But during the clunky climax of the film, when the overprotective father realizes he has to let his daughter fend for herself, I started blubbering inconsolably. Sophie, of course, was there to witness it in all its infamy. Now here we are, more than 16 years later, and I'm the father of the bride, sending my real-life daughter off to the next stage of her life. Now I know she's no Raven-Symoné, but Sophie's my only daughter. So be prepared for the floodgates to open up at any time. So I decided that if I'm not able to keep my emotions at bay, I better have the content of my speech under control. So I looked for guidance wherever I could get it. Turns out people aren't shy about sharing their ideas of what I should talk about. Tell her how proud of you are of her accomplishments was the most common suggestion. Give her a little life advice to send her on her way was a close second. And of course, whatever you do, no matter what, be sure to mention the dress. But as I started to put pen to paper, I realized that none of the recommendations spoke specifically to the things that made my relationship with Sophie so special. I mean, of course I'm proud of her. Last summer, she gave me a tour of her Bay Street office, with its floor-to-ceiling glass windows and seemingly endless city views. I looked out from the 31st floor and I thought, somewhere my mother was felling. But as impressive as it was, I didn't get really excited until she took me to her office and showed me her snack drawer. My always organized daughter had broken it down into the different food groups, time-coded to address specific hunger needs during the run of a day, and filled it to the brim in anticipation of some kind of legal Armageddon. Here she was traveling in the corridors of power, money, and accomplishment, and we were giggling together over her free access to sour gummies. It reminded me that while I can't help but be impressed by her many accomplishments, and the effort it took to achieve them, I'm more proud of the person that she is. Proud that she's kind and funny, loyal and hardworking. Proud that she's a good sister. Proud of her special quirks and idiosyncrasies, like her unapologetic love of bad television and her unexpected joy when she watches the good stuff. Proud of her strength, determination, and perseverance. Proud that she can laugh at a joke, even if it's directed at her. Her accomplishments and milestones are without to be admired, but everyday Sophie is what makes me love her the most. Okay, let's talk about the dress. Look at her today. Can she look more beautiful? Thing is, to a father, his daughter always looks fantastic. I know firsthand because I got invited to the preview of all the potential wedding dresses. Yes, she wanted my help in selecting her big day outfit. Not surprisingly, I didn't help much. What do you think of this one, Dad? She asked. You look beautiful, I said. How about this number? Now that I like. Okay, then what about this? One word. Spectacular. The answer was always going to be some version of beautiful, because it didn't matter what dress she chose. For me, the real beauty of the dress was not in its beading, its neckline, or its train. It was in the fact that she invited me, her old man, along for such a special occasion. As for life advice, there are plenty of good thoughts out there that we should all take to heart. Look out for the little guy, but keep an eye out for the big guy. Give things everything you got, but cut yourself some slack when things don't go according to plan. Don't go to bed angry. But nothing was any better than the one piece of advice I've been giving my children since they were young. Don't be well, you can ask either of them to fill in the rest. It seems to have worked pretty well for both of them, so I don't think it's necessary to add anything else. So what started off as promising hit a bit of a roadblock, and truth be told, I started to panic a little. I had run out of ideas and all but exhausted all my sources for inspiration. In desperation, I reached out to the one guy I didn't want to bother, James. But as I was waiting for him to pick up the phone, I had an epiphany. I realized that in asking for his advice, I was having my own college road trip moment. I was admitting that James might just know Sophie more than me. And with that, I had been replaced as the most special man in her life. And then, James went and cemented the moment. When I eventually asked him for help, he told me that there was no need, that he trusted me to get it right. It only confirmed what I already knew, that she had chosen well, that she was in good hands. So where does that leave me? What do I want my lasting message to be? Seems to me everything added up to letting go. My fatherly responsibilities had come to an end. Well, maybe if I was in a bad Disney movie. Heck, I'm not going anywhere. I like this parenting thing too much. So I'll leave you with this, only I'll say it a little louder so both of you can hear it. Know that Christine's and my door is always open, that as long as I'm able, I'm available for a walk and talk. And of course, I'm only a phone call away, but Sophie knows that better than anyone. And it doesn't have to be for something monumental. It can be for a meal, a laugh, or simply a familiar voice, one that you know loves you and always will. In other words, know that I will be there when needed, because isn't that ultimately what every father is supposed to do?